What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be talking about yet another jaw-dropping installment in the Boku no Hero story. We just learned more about Deku's newest quirk, and this quirk seems to be a lot more powerful than it might have seemed at first. In fact, it apparently has the ability to enhance the power of One For All itself while limiting the damage to Deku's body, which is a huge development. Oh, and I'm also low-key angry at Horikoshi right now, and I will explain why, so let's get into it. If you enjoyed the Boku no Pico content on this channel and you want to see more, leave a like and comment. It only takes a second, but it helps a lot. And if you're new to AnimeUproar, or maybe you watch our videos but you haven't subscribed yet, make this the video that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. Finally, this video will of course contain Boku no Hero manga spoilers, so please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Yes, I know that I said Boku no Pico earlier instead of Boku no Hero. I did it on purpose just to see how many of you would start commenting about it right away. Also, I'm not really angry at Horikoshi. He can do whatever he wants with his story, and I love where the story has been heading for several arcs now. But did he really have to gravely injure both my #1 hero waifu, Miruko, and my #1 villain waifu, Lady Nagant? And don't get me started on Midnight, this is not cool, our MHA MILFs are in danger. Anyway, the latest chapter starts off with a flashback in which Lady Nagant and Overhaul are preparing for the mission to capture Deku. Overhaul explains that he knows Deku because Deku was the one who ruined his plan, and this means that Overhaul will be able to positively identify the target for Lady Nagant once they meet him face to face. So Lady Nagant decides to bring Overhaul with her on the mission since he can confirm that they have the right target. Overhaul agrees, but he has one condition. And can you guess what that condition is? Yes, it's free tickets to My Chemical Romance. No, the condition is of course that after the mission is complete, Overhaul gets to see his boss again. Man, you'd really think that a guy who loves and respects his boss so much would have thought twice before brutally torturing the boss's granddaughter, but what do I know? Back in the present, Overhaul is on the roof of the building and yelling like a madman. Like seriously, he does seem to be out of his mind. He says that he has kept up his part of the deal, he identified Deku as the target, so now Lady Nagant has to honor her part of the deal and let him see the boss. But Lady Nagant's plan is to distract Deku by turning her gun on Overhaul himself. If Deku really is the pure-hearted hero that he claims to be, then he will try to save Overhaul's life despite the fact that Overhaul is a horrible person and a murderous villain. If Deku takes the bait and tries to save Overhaul, Lady Nagant will be able to use that moment of distraction to take him down. In order to reach Overhaul all the way on the top of the building, Lady Nagant increases the size of her arm rifle until it becomes a freaking cannon. I have to say that Lady Nagant's quirk just keeps getting cooler the more we learn about it, and I really think that this quirk has some amazing long-range capabilities that we haven't even seen yet, and that could come into play later on in the story. I mean, if Lady Nagant is still alive, but more on that later. As she fires off her new hand cannon and the giant bullet flies towards Overhaul, Deku springs into action. First he uses Black Whip to push himself off and gain momentum, and then he uses Fajin yet again. We are told that Fajin works by storing the kinetic energy created by repeating regular motions, and Deku then uses Fajin in combination with One For All at 45% to mimic the movements of All Might, movements that make Deku even faster than Lady Nagant's bullet. As the bullet flies towards Overhaul, Deku rushes up to him like an absolute mad lad and pushes him out of the way. It seems that in order to get there on time, Deku used One For All at pseudo 100%. This means that using One For All in combination with Black Whip and then Fajin allowed Deku to use power equivalent to One For All at 100% without actually using One For All at 100% and hurting his body in the process. This is a huge deal, and I'll talk more about this later on in the video. Lady Nagant is shocked that Deku was able to catch up to her bullet, although it seems that Deku anticipated what Lady Nagant was about to do, so he actually started moving even before the bullet was fired. After pushing Overhaul out of harm's way, Deku uses Black Whip to kind of slingshot himself down from the roof and back towards Lady Nagant. The vestige of the third user reveals that before now, Deku was switching between All For One at 45%, Danger Sense, Smokescreen, Black Whip, Fajin, and Float. So he was using 6 different quirks in rapid succession. and he was doing a great job, and I have to say that I'm extremely impressed with how quickly Deku has been able to learn the different quirks and to use them effectively together. But eventually Deku just couldn't process all of those quirks at the same time. It was just too much, especially for someone who hasn't had the time to master each of these individual quirks. Deku realizes that he can't handle using all 6 of them at once, and so he starts using only 3 quirks. One for All itself, Black Whip, and Fajin. And this combination of 3 quirks is proving to be extremely effective against a long-range fighter like Lady Nagant. Lady Nagant tries to fall back, but Deku manages to land a pseudo 100% Manchester smash right into her rifle. So basically, Deku used Fajin to make the power of this Manchester smash equivalent to One for All at 100%, even though he wasn't technically at 100%. Deku manages to smash Lady Nagant's rifle arm to pieces, and he tells her that it's over. Her rifle arm is done for. In that moment, Lady Nagant has an inner realization. She realizes that Deku did not hesitate at all when it came to risking his own life to save Overhaul. Even though Deku knows that Overhaul is a villain who has done truly terrible things to many people, including little Eri. This kind of pure-hearted commitment to heroism without any hesitation reminds Lady Nagant of her younger self. Back when she was brainwashed by the Hero Public Safety Commission into believing that she was making the world a better place by carrying out their orders. Just like Deku, Lady Nagant was once an idealistic hero who would do anything to save people. She believed that she was making the world a better place. Her intentions were good. She had a strong moral compass, she was a good person, but she was being manipulated into doing terrible things, and eventually this destroyed her on the inside. As Lady Nagant falls to the ground, Deku reaches out and grabs her hand. Deku reveals that the trajectory of the bullet that Lady Nagant had fired at Overhaul was actually off. The bullet was never going to hit him at all. Lady Nagant was bluffing. In fact, she also had the chance to hit Deku from behind as he rushed to help Overhaul, but she didn't. In her past, Lady Nagant was manipulated and betrayed by the Hero Society, so she turned against it. But this doesn't make her a bad person. She still has a moral compass, and Deku believes that she still has the heart of a hero. He even invites Lady Nagant to fight alongside the heroes and against All for One. Lady Nagant smiles, and just as she is about to say that Deku is a true hero, we see All for One laughing as he says that hearts can be swayed easily, which is why he prepared for Lady Nagant's potential failure. It seems that All for One has secretly been watching this fight all along, and when he sees that Lady Nagant is no longer sticking to the plan, he activates a massive explosion. Deku screams out as Lady Nagant's severely burnt body falls to the ground. All for One says that in the end, Lady Nagant ended up just being a tool. First a tool for the Hero Public Safety Commission, and now for him. I'm not sure where exactly All for One is currently located, but I'm sure it's somewhere safe because he wants to stay one step ahead of the heroes, so he's probably monitoring the situation using one of his quirks. Then, suddenly, Hawks swoops in and grabs Lady Nagant just before she hits the ground. Hawks is seemingly able to use his wings again, at least for a few seconds at a time, but I'm not sure for how long he can use them because they're definitely not fully healed yet. Hawks calls out to his senpai and tells her not to die, and that is how this jaw-dropping chapter ends. Lady Nagant is hurt, and she is hurt bad. And to make things worse, it happened just as she was undergoing some pretty major character development and becoming an even more interesting character than she already was. And she's obviously waifu, so Horikoshi bro, I need you to stop hurting the waifus. Now I think that Hawks showing up and saving Lady Nagant means that she probably won't die, but she's definitely severely injured, so she'll probably be out of commission for a while. Unless her quirk has more secret properties that we don't know about, like the ability to heal her flesh, she will probably spend the rest of this arc in a hospital. To be fair, her quirk does involve manipulating flesh, so maybe she does have some type of regeneration ability. I kind of hope that she does have some ability to regenerate because I want to see her in action again soon, but we'll have to wait and see. By the way, how freaking ruthless is All for One? This man shows no mercy to anyone, not even a waifu like Lady Nagant. Oh, and how did he make her explode in the first place? Was it a physical explosive device that he somehow managed to attach to her, or was it some sort of explosive quirk that he snuck inside her back when he gave her airwalk? Or was it something else altogether? From the way the panels were drawn, it definitely looked like she exploded as the result of some kind of quirk. It almost looked like she used self-destruct from Pokemon. My guess is that All For One either threw in an extra explosive quirk inside her when he gave her Airwalk, a quirk that he could remotely detonate somehow, or that he used some kind of explosive quirk on her without her knowledge, a quirk that allows for the remote activation of an explosion at some point in the future. To be honest, this was a cool twist. It fits perfectly with All For One's character, and I actually loved it, and I loved the chapter as a whole. But at the same time, I really hope that Lady Nagant pulls through. I've been loving her character, and I really liked how this chapter fleshed it out even more. And even though Lady Nagant has not had a lot of screen time, she's already become such an interesting character. At first, she was just some villain waifu at Tartarus with an attitude. Then we realized that she was actually a former hero who betrayed the Hero Society and who was so strong that Hawks told Deku to run if he ever sees her. Then we learned her tragic backstory. A backstory that exposed the terrifying dark side of the Hero Society. And after that, we understood why she ultimately turned against the Hero Society. But now, thanks to this chapter, we know that there is still hope for redemption. Lady Nagant still has a strong moral compass, even though she is technically a villain assassin. She wasn't really going to kill Overhaul, and she chose not to shoot Deku in the back, even though she could have. She may not like the Hero Society, but that society is now in ruins anyway, so why not join up with the heroes who are pure-hearted like Deku? Deku and the others are no longer fighting for the corrupt Hero Society. They are not serving the interests of the Public Safety Commission. They're just fighting to protect the innocent and bring all of this chaos under control. Like I said, I loved this chapter. I loved Lady Nagant's character development, and the twist at the end with the explosion was so good but also heartbreaking at the same time. Definitely let me know what you guys thought of the chapter, and do you like Lady Nagant's character as much as I do? Okay, now let's talk about Fajin and its crazy potential. Even though this quirk involves releasing sudden bursts of energy, it's not a one and done type deal. Deku can apparently store kinetic energy in different parts of his body and then unleash them at the right moment. And even more importantly, this quirk allows Deku to use the equivalent of 100% of One For All's power without damaging his body. This is like the perfect quirk for Deku, and you could just imagine all of the attack combos that we're gonna be seeing in the future as a result of Fajin. The pseudo 100% Manchester Smash that we saw in this chapter is just the beginning. Deku's ability to quickly mix his 6 different quirks in battle is already pretty amazing, and as he masters all of these quirks, his fighting strategy is just gonna get even more interesting and intricate in the future. And of course, once he unlocks the final quirk, there's no telling what he will be capable of. Just imagine Deku with all 7 quirks fully mastered, fighting against Shigaraki and or All For One with like who knows how many quirks going all out. Just imagine all of those different quirks mixing together and creating unbelievable combinations. That is going to be an absolutely epic final showdown, and everything we're seeing right now is just a prelude to that future craziness. Let me know what you guys think. Is our girl Lady Nagant still alive? And is she going to pull through? Also, how did All For One manage to blow her up in the first place? And is he about to make his move on Deku now? Or is he going to sit back and wait a while longer? Finally, and this is the most important question, is Overhaul ever going to see his boss again? You guys, I can't stand the suspense of not knowing when Overhaul will get to see the boss. It is just the biggest cliffhanger ever, and I need to know right now. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Boku no Hero, not Boku no Pico content here on the channel, please leave that like to let me know, it helps a lot. And if you're new to AnimeUproar, or maybe you watch our videos but you haven't subscribed yet, make this the video that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. You really have to go through the trouble of subscribing, hitting that bell, and then selecting the option that says all. If you don't do that, you're still gonna miss a ton of our videos, even if you are subscribed. It's just how YouTube works. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. A big thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons for making videos like this one possible. Special thank you to Alpha Sigma, and red-haired Raven. These guys are absolute mad lads and disciples of Lord Twigo himself. And I can't forget all of our The One tier patrons, the ones who rise above all other clans, including Ingrata, Pate Hefa, Aljatal, Dr. Courtman, The Toasted Chi, Rai Carlo, Slickback, Emperor Otaku, Spidey Life Tanel, Tungsten Tarkus, Baked Buddhist, and Cody Hebert. Finally, thank you also to our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, Angel Cruz, Anatoly Kazatsky, Cricket XP, Very Gucci, Alicia Octer, Bonnie Parks, Hinokami and Water, Ted No Ted, iSparky65, Joanne Garcia, Fatboy Games, Metal Mama, Corey McGowan, Deadly Saint, Soul Ray Slice and Dice, and Pillow. If you enjoy our videos and you feel that they provide value to you, consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single dollar will give you access to our Patreon exclusive Discord, and your name will appear in our videos along with these amazing people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.